Before we begin, I would like to encourage everyone to take a moment to reflect and connect with the land that you are currently standing on and reflect on who the original occupants were. As for the Ontario College of Teachers, our offices stand on the traditional territory of many nations, including the Mississaugas of the Credit, the Anishinaabeg, the Chippewa, the Haudenosaunee, and the Wendat peoples. I also acknowledge that the City of Toronto is covered by Treaty 13 with the Mississaugas of the Credit. We express our sincere gratitude for sharing these lands for our mutual benefit. On behalf of the staff in Client Services, we welcome you all virtually to the Ontario College of Teachers to learn about the application process. We would like to start with a little background information about the college. The college was established in 1997 to license, govern, and regulate Ontario's teaching profession in the public interest. The college was created by the Ontario College of Teachers Act to issue, suspend, and revoke teaching certificates, to set ethical standards and standards of practice, to investigate and hear concerns and complaints about members, and to accredit teacher education programs and courses. To teach in publicly funded schools in Ontario, you must be certified by us and be a member in good standing of the college. Today's session is on applying to the college. The intention for the session is to provide you with the knowledge and tools required to complete your application and put you in control as much as possible. Requirements for certification are an acceptable teacher education program equivalent to 4 semesters and leading to certification in the jurisdiction where the program was completed, and for general education teachers, an acceptable post-secondary degree, at least 3 years of full-time study for teachers of general studies subjects. For technological education teachers, high school diploma or equivalent for teachers of technological education subjects. In this session, we will review the documents required to satisfy the college's academic, professional suitability, language proficiency, and sexual abuse prevention program requirements. If you have not already reviewed the guide, we encourage you to do so, as it is each applicant's responsibility to review the certification and document requirements when applying to the college. We will now go through each of the 5 requirements in more detail, starting with the academic requirement. Your academic or post-secondary degree, for example, a Bachelor of Arts or Bachelor of Science, must have been completed at an institution recognized or accredited in the jurisdiction where it was completed, and it must include the equivalent of at least 3 years of full-time study or 90 credits. Once certified, all degrees awarded will be listed on your teaching certificate. The second requirement is the professional requirement or the requirement to have completed an acceptable program of teacher education. This program must be at least 4 semesters of post-secondary study. In the Canadian post-secondary system, an academic year is usually comprised of 2 semesters. Your teacher education program must be academic, not employment-based, and completed at the post-secondary level. The program must also lead to certification or authorization to teach in the jurisdiction where you completed the program. The college will consider programs that include academic and teacher education courses, provided it is a combination of 3 years of academic coursework and 4 semesters of teacher education coursework. All applicants must demonstrate that you are of good character to be able to teach in Ontario. To assess your professional suitability, the college requires that you provide a current Canadian criminal record check report, complete responses to the applicant declaration questions in the online application, a teaching certificate and statement of professional standing from the jurisdiction where you completed your teacher education program, even if you never taught there, as well as every jurisdiction where you taught. Next is the language proficiency requirement. Every applicant must satisfy language proficiency requirements. You meet the college's requirements without having to provide additional proof if you completed an acceptable teacher education program in a country listed in the registration guide. Also, if you are certified in another Canadian jurisdiction and at the time of certification you were assessed for language proficiency and met that jurisdiction's requirements, you do not need to provide evidence of language proficiency. Otherwise, you need to provide one of the following documents to the college to meet the language proficiency requirement. The first option is to have a letter sent from the head of the teacher education institution confirming that your entire teacher education program was completed in English or French. If your teacher education program was not offered in English or French, but your primary or secondary schooling and your post-secondary education were completed entirely in English or French, please arrange for an official letter from each institution. That is, a letter from your primary or secondary school confirming that all years were completed in either English or French, and a letter from your post-secondary institution confirming the language of instruction for the entire program. The third option is to complete one of the college-approved language tests. If you complete a test but the results do not meet our minimum scores, you should still have the results sent to the college because if all other documents are on file, your file will be forwarded for assessment and you will receive a decision assessing your full application and any additional steps you need to take to obtain your certificate. The tests are listed here and are also listed in the registration guide along with the required scores. Lastly, the requirements to complete the Sexual Abuse Prevention Program was introduced in January 2022. For Ontario applicants and internationally educated teachers, it is a requirement for certification. Teachers who have been certified to teach in another Canadian province or territory and are certified with the college must complete the program within 1 year of their initial certification with the college. The program is offered at no cost. Successful completion of the SAPP requires a minimum score of 80% on the final knowledge assessment test. Once completed, your document status page will be updated to reflect the completion of the document requirement, and you will receive an email. Once certified, a notation will appear on your public register page indicating that the program has been completed. Before you begin the application process, please select the registration guide that applies to you and make sure you read it carefully. This guide lists all the document requirements. The online application is available at any time and provides an area where applicants can track the receipt of documents. Applicants are responsible for tracking the progress of their application online. Status page is the mode of communication. All information on the application must be entered before you submit your fees and application. Incomplete applications will not be processed. You will be assigned an application number that should be referred to when you contact or send documents to the college. An application does not move to the next stage until all required documents have been received and processed. Your application is valid for 2 years from the day we processed your file. When the end of this 2-year period is approaching, you will receive a letter advising you of your next steps and the documents that are still outstanding. When you submit your application, there will be a document status page available to you. Through the document status page, we will list all required documents and provide information specific to you. Proof of identity. You need to submit a photocopy of one of the following documents: birth certificate or passport, must have all names listed, or permanent resident card, or Canadian immigration record and visa, or record of landing. Criminal record check. Applicants must provide an original signed Canadian Criminal Record Check Report, or CRC. If you have been issued a CRC in paper format, please mail the original document to us. If you have been issued a CRC in an electronic digital format, please upload it by using our file upload portal available on our website. Teaching certificate. A photocopy of your teaching certificate from any jurisdiction where you are or have been qualified to teach, even if you have never actually taught in that jurisdiction. We also know that not all jurisdictions issue a teaching certificate and recommend that you review the country-specific information on our website. Official documents such as transcripts, statements of professional standing, and proof of language proficiency documents must be submitted to the college directly from the institution. You must make these arrangements with your institutions. All documents submitted to the college become the property of the college and will not be returned. As documents are received, we will keep you informed of the progress of each of your document requirements. Processing timelines for documents received is currently approximately 30 business days. You must arrange for a translation for any document not in English or French. When we receive a document directly from the institution that is not in English or French, we will send you a copy with instructions outlining our translation requirements. We want an official translation of the document that we receive. Please do not translate documents that you have in your possession, as the translations will not be acceptable. Instructions on locating an acceptable translator are available on the college website and will also be provided to you when you are sent a document for translation. When you submit documents to the college, it takes 30 business days to process them and to update your document status page online. Once all your documents have been received and accepted, your file will move to our Evaluation Services unit. Your application status page will indicate your application is under evaluation. Additional information may be required. The timeline for the process is 120 days or best efforts. Decisions are issued by email. We conclude this session with a summary of the many resources referred to in our session today. There are a variety of resources available on the college's website in the Becoming a Teacher section. In addition, our country-specific section has information regarding document requirements, terminology used in the jurisdiction, as well as contact information for where to obtain the Statement of Professional Standing. Can I teach in Ontario? Before applying, we recommend that you complete our free online assessment to determine if you will meet the certification requirements. It takes about 30 minutes to complete.